Welcome to another edition of Bar Banter from the third floor studio of 29 West Hubbard, just above O'Callahan's here in River North, Chicago. Now, I've had some great guests, and I'm really excited about this one because not only is he a guest, but he's a friend, and he also is a co-worker of mine. Vincent Cluke is here today.
Thank you very much
if you
for
come
having
here
me.
on a Sunday, you know this guy because he's here every Sunday, whether it's football season or not, but he's here serving you and taking care of you. Vincent, welcome.
Thank you very much for having me. I appreciate it.
You seem very polite and nice right now.
We'll see how it goes.
I want to get you riled up a little bit.
Okay.
We will.
I mean, well, just so before we go forward, I'm not good at interviews. That's why I've probably had so many jobs in my life.
Yeah.
So we'll see how it goes.
It could be your service.
It could be that too.
It could be that too. Actually, if you don't know anything, Vincent is the 13th best bartender in Chicago.
I am.
According to whom, we have no idea, but that's according to him also, right?
There's 12 people that think they're better than me, so everybody else doesn't even talk to me about it.
I'm at 27.
Okay.
I'll go there.
I thought you made 23.
Yeah, I had an incident.
Oh, well,
yeah, well,
that'll happen.
All right, so originally from Kansas.
Of course, yeah.
Right?
Born and raised Atchison, Kansas.
So as we're doing this episode right now, it's before the Chiefs take on the Niners in the big game, right?
Yes, it is.
So we don't know how it's going to go, but I want to hear how strong your allegiance is towards your Chiefs.
Well, if you've ever been to Kansas, driven through it, flown over it, or just watched The Wizard of Oz, you know there's no Wizard of Oz. And the only thing in Kansas or close to that is the Kansas City Chiefs. So my allegiance is it's the only thing that there is to do if you're from Kansas, is to watch the Chiefs.
Or go visit the curtain where the wizard's behind, but he's not.
But
really
there's no wizard.
There's no wizard.
There's no wizard.
Right?
No.
So you're really hoping strongly again that you get number 3 over the past few years.
No, I believe that'll happen this year.
Okay.
I'm not worried. I'm not hoping anything.
You know what? I can't wait to do a follow-up to see if this really happens or not. But
okay.
There's a good chance. You got number 15, man.
I mean, you can do a live interview with me, losing my mind on Sunday. I'll be here.
Oh, I can't wait to see you because I'm going to be here for that.
Okay.
For sure. All right. So you work at OC's. You've been in the business for a long time. You also work at offshore over in Navy Pier, which is just like a whole nother different beast, right?
It's like a different town in Chicago altogether.
It totally is. So let's talk about this right now. What's the difference in working at a place like OC's and then working at a place like offshore?
Well, here, everything is about trying to be the same as much as possible because you've created regulars to a point where they're coming for either your energy, your speed, just to have the gift of gab with you, to talk to you, to be around you because you've created something in them. Over there, it's quantity over quality at points in time.
It's tourists.
It's Navy Pier. So basically it's the most visited place in Chicago. And by the time somebody walks the half mile down there, they really don't want anything but a drink or their food. And they really don't want to talk to you about every single thing in the world.
There's no personal connection going on there.
For the most part, no.
Not as much as what you have here because
No.
you've got your people coming in on Sundays who come to see you all the time.
Yeah, of course.
Right?
Yeah.
But
That's
over
what
there,
you
you're
hope for when you're at a neighborhood bar.
Over there, you're like, hey, bro, nice backwards hat. Right?
No, over there, it's we're trying to decide where they're from by the way they walk into the door and how they order.
Right.
Oh, they're from Indiana. Oh, they're from Wisconsin. Oh, they're definitely from Ohio.
Oh, they're from Germany.
Oh,
And
yeah.
So there's a thing also, right? And no knock on the Europeans, but the fact is when they come into the bar when I'm working during the day, they walk right up to the bar at the service station. The only place they go to is the service station where your server is trying to do her job. And we'd like a beer. I'm like, okay, what kind of beer do you want? Where, first of all, where are you sitting? Are you sitting at the bar? Or are you sitting at a table? We're going to sit over there. I'm like, okay, go sit down.
Have a seat.
Go
Have
sit
a seat.
down.
Relax.
We have
Because
someone who will take your order.
you haven't even looked at the beers.
Right.
You can't even tell me which beer you want.
Right.
You can look at all the taps. There's 20 taps plus what I have in the cooler.
So whether you're European, American, or whatever, they come in, they start looking at taps. Like you have no idea what these beers are, right? They're
Yeah.
like, can I taste this one? Like, no, God, no, right? Like, what are we in Sonoma? Is this like a tasting room right now?
It's not.
No,
Because if everybody wants to taste a beer, that's 20 beers I just poured, and nobody even orders the one I poured from.
exactly.
Like I like to ask people, like, what do you like? What's your style?
Right.
Because if you just want a beer, I'll just pour you a Miller Lite.
I get to the point of I'm like, you know what? You're just gonna drink what I tell you you're drinking.
Well,
like that's it.
That works too.
And they do, and they drink it.
I mean, unless you have bad taste,
I mean,
it should work.
I'm going to give you like a nice dovetail by a brewery here in Chicago or like something from Maplewood, which is in Chicago. But then like, I'll taste this, I'll taste this, I'll taste this, I'll taste this. And they're like, I'll just do a Coors Light. I'm like, okay, fine.
I used to have a lady that would come in and she's tasted 5 beers. So by the time she orders like the cheapest beer, she's already had a beer. Like she's already drank a beer.
Right.
But she's still going to order the cheapest beer.
Yeah.
And she didn't want, that's in the bottle. So there was no reason to ever taste it.
Exactly. So they get their free beer and they're like, nah, I think I'm just going to take off.
Yeah.
Like, okay, great. Good.
What's your special?
How do you wake up in the morning and look at yourself? How do you do that?
Just trying to be frugal.
Yeah.
I try to get my booze on and be trying to be cheap. Not cheap, frugal.
No, cheap.
Okay.
Yeah.
That works.
Like, let's call a spade here, right? And like, cheap is cheap.
Yeah.
Right? Now, of course, at O'Callahan's, 2 floors below, I mean, everybody knows it's Irish bar, and we have Guinness. So, by the way,
cheers.
Cheers. Sláinte.
Cilantro.
Oh, no. I just hit the mic.
Shots, not for
I just
beer,
hit the microphone stand. Guinness story.
I do have a Guinness story. So I think I pour Guinness pretty well, to a point where I didn't realize that there was a timing situation that you had to, like that.
It's like 180 something seconds.
119.2 seconds is the proper pour. But I didn't realize like there were Guinness nerds that would like watch you poured, and then like when you gave it to them and it looks right, and all they have to do is just wait a little bit and it'll settle right. Like I got yelled at by these 3 Irish guys at the end of the bar one day because they're like, "You didn't take proper time for that." I was like, "Well, you know what? I'll start it all over for you."
Right.
It's like, "Well, no, we're going to take them, but you didn't take proper time for it."
Of course, you're going to take them.
Like I can pour these again. It's going to take another 6 minutes, or you could just wait 30 seconds and drink these.
Right.
You know, because I know it's going to taste the same. I know it's going to taste the same.
It's not going to taste anything differently.
No.
Let it settle.
Yeah,
and
it'll be great.
Shut the F up. So yes, they do judge. So we have a segment here on the show where we nominate a douchebag of the week. So I'm going to come up with my first one, and you can come up with your second one at any time. And then we can go back if we want to. And like Dominic, who's running the show, hey, Dom, say hi, Dom. Oh my God.
He's going to decide who's the douche.
Yeah, he's going to decide.
Okay.
He's going to decide. He's going to
What
be
you got?
decided. So just yesterday, I had a dude come in, and he sat down at the bar, and he hadn't ordered a drink yet. And I was pouring a Guinness. And I do it the right way. I've done it for 25 years, right? I know how to pour a Guinness, right? And he's like, who the fuck taught you how to pour a Guinness? So I look at the dude, and I'm like, who are you? Like, what? Like,
he didn't know you can't cuss at the bartender.
Right.
Okay.
No, see, you get it.
I get it.
So I was like, okay, here we go. I was like, who are you? He's like, well, I'm just saying, it's just like, you just don't know what you're doing pouring a Guinness. I'm like, okay. So I said, well, the president of the Guinness brewery in Ireland was here 2 months ago, and I poured him a pint, and he said, that's the perfect pint. And I was like, right? And he was like, for fuck's sake, that's the perfect pint. I'm like, I love you. Like I go, so if you have anything else you want to say, just let me know. But I think I know what I'm doing right now, right? He's like, well, you just did, like, you didn't do the 45-degree angle. Like, shut up, right? So I'm just like, okay, buddy, if you think you can do it better, I will allow you to come behind the bar and show me how to pour. Oh, no. I'm like, okay. So then there's this really lovely lady sitting 3 doors down from him. She was not having a good day. and he pushed her buttons.
Okay.
And she looked at him and she's like, dude, shut the fuck up. And like, that was it. And he's like, well, he goes, I just want to get a Guinness. I go, oh. She's like, well, you don't want one from him.
Was she a regular?
No, she was in from out of town. She's like, dude, shut the fuck up. Like, and I was like, I love you so much, so much. And he's like, and he goes, I just want a beer. I go, in my typical line, I'm like, 3 doors down, because it's not happening here. You don't come and cuss at the bartender.
Mm-hmm.
You don't tell them he's doing the wrong thing. You just don't do it. Right?
No, you don't.
And like,
what am I going to do after that?
And I looked at her and I was like, you're a gem. Right? Like, that was like the best. So that's my douchebag of the week.
I'm gonna have to come back to that because I have a good one.
Okay,
but I want to make sure I tell. I want to make sure I tell the story the right way.
You got to let it percolate a little bit.
I got to make sure I tell the story.
Yeah, let it percolate a little bit. Okay, all right. What's your favorite thing about bartending?
I went to school to be a psychologist or a psychiatrist, but I grew up thinking that Cheers was like the best show in the world, and I felt like you could have a job where you could hang out every day and also help other people in their own problems, like just by being there. And I like the fact that I still feel that way when I step behind the bar. Like, I feel like I'm going to work, but it's not a job so much as it's like me just creating a good time for everybody behind, like that's on the other side of it, and then just seeing how it goes the rest of the day.
I like that.
Like,
I mean, sometimes you're not having a great day, right? But then sometimes, like when you're feeling okay and you see someone's not doing well, and you just let them talk.
Yeah.
And like, you let them talk and just like, don't even offer your opinion. Just do your thing.
Just
like,
let them talk. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I'm here. It's fine. Like it's kind of like a cliche or running joke of like the bartender is the therapist, but like sometimes you are.
Well,
and like, I think Dom can agree too. He's up here on the 3rd floor bartending all the time. Like everybody like understands that like you take on a lot of information
of other people's lives.
Yes.
Outside of whatever you have to do. Like,
right.
You might be back here like making 17 drinks in a row, but the one person wants to continue telling you everything that's happened in their day, and you have to hear these things and you have to observe what's going on throughout the whole place. Like, I like the fact that it's one of the only places where only jobs like you're in charge of the whole vibe of the place.
Yeah.
If you want to be.
Yeah.
Like, if you can set the music up, you can set the way that people are going to interact.
You can
like,
set the mood.
Yeah, you're there to set the mood. You're there to make sure that whoever walks in here is enjoying themselves, especially if other people come here trying to ruin that. Like, you got to get those people out so everybody else can enjoy themselves.
It's all about customer service,
Yeah.
all about bringing them back, right?
Yeah.
And in this bar in particular, we do get a lot of people from out of town. So like they're here for conventions and whatnot. But like, guess what? When they come back a year later and they're like, Vincent.
You get a lot of regulars from out of town.
I know. They're like, Vincent, Teddy, I came back to see you. That feels good.
I like the fact of the matter that I've been able to build not a clientele or just a regular base of people that this is where they spend their Sunday regardless of what's going on in life.
Right.
You know, it's like, oh, well, ain't no football, ain't none of this. I'm going to go hang out with Vincent.
Well, that's the thing with me, too, is like, you know, like I started working here 2.5 years ago, and I just do the weekdays. I don't do nights.
I trained you, remember?
Yeah, and I almost got fired.
I know. That wasn't my fault at all.
No, that's just because you were not great.
No, I trained you right.
No, you did. You trained me right. But one of my favorite things is when people come back in, and they're like, they know when I'm working.
Mm-hmm.
And they come in and they're going to have their lunch and they're going to have their couple of beers and they're going to go back to work, which to me is astounding sometimes, right? It's like people come in and I'm not going to name anybody, but they will come in and have like 6, 7 drinks and be like, I got to get back to work. I'm like,
you're hoping they're the boss.
Right. Like,
you're hoping that they have an office where they go in, lock the door, and nobody has to deal with them.
It's amazing to me. Like, I can't imagine like going to a bar and having 6 or 7 drinks and going back to an office.
Me either.
Like, how do you do that?
I don't understand. Because like, I can't have 6 drinks and go into the bar and work. So, like, though I would like to, but it's kind of like
I can't have 6.
No,
I can't have 6 drinks and get out of the bar.
Yeah, well, there's that too.
Oh, but that was our holiday party, so never mind.
Yeah.
Forget about that. For the most part, I think you'd agree. Most people are really good who come in.
Yeah.
It's the people who aren't is what creates the show.
Yeah.
like it's the people who are not the best.
And they're not the best anywhere they go.
Right.
So
Right.
they just happen to walk into our bar at the time.
Right. Right. Like, I mean, I think I've told this, and Dom's going to correct me if I haven't or not, but like, you know, this kid walks in the bar, he's like, I'll take a Guinness. I'm like, okay. Did I tell the story, Dom? Yeah, I did. Anyway, he's like, it takes like, you know, like we talked about the time for a Guinness. Can I get my fucking beer? I'm like, first time having a Guinness? Right?
I wish a motherfucker would. Like, I really, like, I've worked in a bar over 27 years now. I've been in a bar, like,
and you're the 13th best
and
bartender.
I'm only the best. I'm only the 13th best after 27 years. It's so crazy. Like, I might be 14. Somebody might pass me up.
You should really
Some
up
new
your
kid
game.
might have like already took my spot this year.
Up your game, kid.
But like, I don't have any issue with talking to people when they talk out of pocket, but I haven't had that in a long time. And I think it's probably because I don't smile when I'm behind the bar. And I think it's probably like, because like I've never been like a smiley person. We're like, hey guys, how you doing today? I was like, you know, because I feel like this, like if I look goofy behind there, something happens, you're not gonna respect what I do when I come out there and try to check you. You know?
See, the thing is, when people come in to see you, they don't know what Vince they're getting.
That's true too.
They don't know.
The owner doesn't know what kind of Vince he's getting any day.
The employees don't know what kind of Vince they're getting sometimes. Like, you can walk in and be like, is this going to be a good Vince today? Or
no, it's never a bad Vince.
No, it's never a bad Vince.
Am I in the mood for this shit?
No,
or am I not in the mood for this shit?
You're never a bad Vince. It's just like, is it going to be happy Vince or just Vince? Right? It's just like,
well, I feel like if you start with,
but we're all that way though.
Like, I'm never gonna go down, right? I'm never gonna come in and like get worse.
No,
but if I come in at like then I can get I can like slowly, gradually, you know, based on like who the clientele is, or just so I can like. They can be like, oh my God, he's opening up now.
It changes your whole mood,
like,
though,
oh
right?
my God, we're the reason he's happy now. Look at him now.
Sometimes I walk in the morning and I'm like setting all the glasses up and I'm like, meh. and so they'll walk in, I'm like, are you open? I'm like, yeah, we're open. I'm like, we're just a little late setting up. But like for me, it's like you got your mood sometimes, right?
I know.
And then you have to adjust it.
Of course.
That's what people don't understand.
You can't stay that way all day.
But that's what people don't understand is when you're doing this job, no matter what's going on in your life, you are still serving the public and you're still like working for the person you work for.
I still have to adjust it throughout.
And you're still trying to make money, right?
Like, just because I don't come in doing cartwheels doesn't mean I can't do one soon. Like,
it doesn't mean I'm like a dick.
Yeah.
It just means like, well, sometimes I am, I guess. But Dominic would probably agree with that, right, Dominic? Yes, correct. He said.
You know, I will never say that I've been rude to guests unless they're rude. I've been short. Where
you can
like
be short and you can be rude when they're rude to you.
I can understand, but I can understand how me being short sometimes, or like just stating a fact instead of like letting them finish what they're trying to say, comes across really like rude and standoffish. My douche of the week, then.
Oh,
probably
yeah.
let's do it. It wasn't this week or last week. It was the day before New Year's this year. He comes in, and him and like they're to the wind. Like it's and like I'm at offshore, and like they're past. I don't know how they got past the security guy to get in, and they come in, and she can barely keep her head off the bar. And so I simply tell him, like, hey, sir, you know, I can't serve you guys. Like, I really feel bad. And like, I know you guys have been having a great day. I can't serve you. And luckily, we don't have glassware. We have like acrylic, right?
Right.
So he proceeds to swoosh all the glasses off the bar.
Ooh.
Thinking that he was doing something. He was going to break some shit.
I think we have a winner already.
And
go on.
Walks out, you know, he takes the napkins, throws it behind the bar, flips me off. It's like, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. As they go out
Who's
the door,
next?
As they go out the door, his wife falls flat on her face. And his drunk ass can't even pick her up. So we had to go help him pick her up. So I'm like, first off, it's one thing to be a tough guy and be a shitty tough guy.
Yeah.
But if you can't even pick your wife up off the ground, bro, like, why? Like, you should have just went home.
Right.
There was no reason to be in this situation where you look like an asshole.
Yeah.
Like a real asshole.
Well, you are an asshole.
Well, yeah, duh. But you don't want to look like one. You can be an asshole and not look like one.
Yeah.
People do it every day.
Yeah, well, I'm looking at one.
Well, you know.
No, just kidding.
Hey, I do my best not to look like one.
Never. So, yeah, that's a bad move, dude.
Yeah.
Like a really bad move. So while we're talking douchebag of the week, we're going to have Dom chime in on who's the biggest douchebag of the week. The guy who couldn't even pick his wife up off the ground, or my guy who asked me who the fuck taught me how to pour a Guinness and I kicked him out.
I think I have to win.
I think Vince has it.
Like she brought you out the house to be able to protect her, and you couldn't even do that shit.
I think Vince has it, right? I can control someone who's like sitting at the bar. I can't control someone who's like passed out at the bar or on the floor, right?
Like, y'all should have just went back to the hotel room. You were staying at the hotel.
Let me ask you something. Do you think that like there should be a law of some sort that everybody in this country should work in the service industry for at least 6 months?
I believe that because if I had it my way, my son would have worked in a restaurant right before we went to college. I believe this. So kids graduate high school, that whole summer, you should have to work in the service industry.
Exactly.
Just so you know how not to act once you start having a little money in your pocket and you go out, what you don't want to deal with. And just so you know, and you understand, like, not everything is about you.
Well, that's
exactly
the problem
when you want it.
right now.
Exactly when you want it.
You just hit on it, because the problem right now is the pandemic fucked everything up, right? Because everybody's all about themselves. Right?
Yes.
Like, right? So now it's all self-entitlement. It's all like just about non-self-awareness and just like, take care of me. Take care of me right now.
Well, I won't
and you
say
know,
it's
it's
a
not that
pandemic,
easy being in this industry and doing that.
I got you.
Yeah.
But I won't say it's just a pandemic. I feel like all that entitlement, all those attitudes have always been there. It's just after being shut down twice in Chicago, and then that summer of 2021, everybody was like, I've been missing everything. I need this, and you need to treat me. It's my time. It's my time. And that's all of a sudden that became what, if you're sitting at this table and somebody responded to that, you start like, well, I'm going to do that too.
Right.
And I'm going to do that too.
I know.
Like,
I know.
You're arguing with people over the smallest of things, and then you're trying to make money, so everybody had to add gratuity because you're like, oh, well, I ain't going to spend no money. I'm going to go get me a charger, and I ain't going to spend no money after that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so like nobody wants to tip. And now they're mad because they have an automatic grat because you're not going to tip us.
Right.
Because you're like, well, we're all broke now. Well, then stay home.
Right.
Eat at home, drink at home.
I mean, I think my recent guest, Michelle Foyk from Eris Brewery and Cider House, brought up a great example where like these people were out of control, and they were just like, it was at a time where like they had an hour and a half time frame during the pandemic. Like, okay, you can sit here for an hour, and they're like, okay, you've been here 2 hours, you guys need to go. And the person was like, I'm going to sue you. I'm going to sue you because I haven't been out in 2 years. She's like, I don't give a fuck if you've been out in 2 years or not. Like, get over yourself.
But you knew it was only an hour and a half or 2 hours when you walked in the door, like we told you when you made your reservation.
Right. I know. I know. On a more positive note, there are some really good points of being in this industry. And there are some really great moments and friends that you make and everything else. And I think of some of the regulars that I have and that you have. You see someone that you know and that you love who's a regular, and you're like,
you need that pick me up.
That's my day's better, right?
Yeah, that pick me up gets like, because here's the thing, like we walk through life every day and we wake up by ourselves, we go to sleep by ourselves. If you want to be by yourself, you can be by yourself, right? But when you happen to be out there and other people's energy is reciprocated to you in the right way, like it perks you up. It makes you want to do, like, oh man, you know, wasn't having a great day, got out of bed, didn't get my coffee. First two guests came in, they're people that I know, and they're people that bring energy. Like
they just,
oh, you know what? I can do this the rest of the day.
They pump you up.
Yeah, I can do this the rest of the day because like you have that good feeling coming in with them.
Yeah.
You know, and even if they're having a bad day, just the sight of them is enough because you know what? I'm here for a purpose. That's why I showed up today. And maybe it's just them showing up that gets me in the mood to be like, you know what? Whatever they need, whatever they want to talk about, or whatever the rest of the day is going to be great.
You know what the best feeling for me is when I'm in, and it's not the greatest morning, and you're like, and it's not a hangover. It's just like life, right?
Mhm.
And someone comes in who you know, and they sit down, and you can tell right away they're not having a great day, right?
Yeah.
And you're like, Brad, whatever your name is, like, what's going on? I'm like, okay. And you just listen, right?
Mhm.
You get them their drink. They just want a beer. They're just like, I'm one and done. I'm having a beer. I'm like, great. Like, and then you just listen, and they like stand up and they leave, and you're like, thank you. And I was like, I would just served you a drink. But then they're like, no, you like gave a shit.
It's the comfortability.
No, you gave a shit.
Yeah.
Like you cared, which is because we do, right? Like we're human beings. We care about other people. And when you see people that you know and that you care about who come in, you see often, you want to make sure they're okay.
Yeah, and it's not even just about them coming back and like spending money.
No,
The fact of
no.
the matter that it's weird. This job is such a weird job to me sometimes, to know that you are an intricate part of somebody else's energy in a real way. Somebody that's not like that doesn't live with you, somebody
Right.
that's not in your family, somebody that doesn't have to talk to you every day.
You know what you are? You're
You
an
know?
escape.
Yeah, well, but sometimes that escape is what everybody needs, especially if
Yes.
it's not an escape
No.
that sends you the wrong way in
But
life.
it's a good escape.
You know? Yeah.
It's like I need to get out of my realm right now, and I need to like just see Vincent and just shoot the shit for a couple.
Yeah. Like,
We're gonna talk about the Chiefs, talk about like whatever, right?
or talk about the team that you want to beat the Chiefs. Whatever you want to talk about, like I'm here for.
Yeah.
As long as you don't like keep chanting Taylor all the time, then I'll be cool.
Just stop it. But I will say one of my favorite things about this entire job is just busting balls. Like it's my favorite thing because everybody needs a little something, right?
Everybody needs that kind of familiarity that
Yeah.
comes with having closeness, and you know exactly what I'm going through or what I'm saying, or you can joke about me and I can laugh at myself and not feel like somebody's like trying to be mean to me.
Right.
You know, and that's kind of what we offer. Like in general, it's like I always want to be able to be a place where that's a safe haven for you to come, drink, like meet people, have a good time, and if you need, we can send you home in the right way. Like I always want to be a place where you can come to and enjoy yourself and not worry about what you were worried about before.
And that's why we do what we do, you know, like, and a quick story before we wrap things up in a little bit is, you know, I'm all over the place. I'm still freelance media and whatnot.
Mhm.
And and I hosted a show that was very popular for like 6 years. And people come into the bar and they see me and they're like, well, what are you doing here? I'm like, well, this is what I want to be doing. Like, I like doing what I'm doing. I love what I'm doing. And I still do what I did that you saw me do, but I love doing this. And it's not like I don't regret a goddamn thing. Like nothing. Like I'm just happy to like talk to people.
I
Like this
got you.
job has been like a savior for me sometimes. I've gone through a lot of shit like we all have in our, in the past few years, right? I get out of the house, I come here, I get to talk to people that I know. I get to talk to people that I don't know, but I connect.
Yeah.
And I think that's the biggest thing, right? Yes, we're here to make money. We're all here. Let's not fool everybody.
But we can make money somewhere else, doing something else.
Right.
Like, I could go do construction and not have to deal with anybody else's problems except like putting this where the bricks are supposed to go and still make money. But would I enjoy it as much?
Socialization.
You know what I mean? Like, I think what I love about this business still, truthfully, is what amazes me is how many places I've worked and I've created these friends and these people that I've mentored as bartenders. And people like, because here it is, you know, people are like, oh, well, why are you working this job? You're in your 40s. I'm like, well, because I love what I do. I never feel like it's a job. I feel like I'm just hanging out all day. I'm doing a great job. I'm getting paid, and I'm not hurting for anything by coming to this place. But when I go to other places or where I work at a place, and then I've had this kid that, you know, is 21 years old and wants to be a bartender, and all of a sudden 5, 6 years later, like they're the 12th best bartender, 11th best bartender. 10th
No,
best
you're
bartender.
13.
I'm like, I've done something right for the world. I'm still 13, but I helped somebody else move up
You're
into
like,
some energy that they love.
I'm a baker's dozen, bitches, but guess what? Now you're at 11, so good for you, right?
Like, I feel like, it's one of the jobs I feel like if you're really good at it and you're really in tune to it, you're there to help everybody else that works there with you become better. There's not a lot of jobs a lot of doctors aren't gonna be like, you know what? I'm the best surgeon. Let me help you be a best surgeon. There's not like, oh, well, I'm the best stock guy. Let me help you be the best stock guy.
Yeah.
Like, this is one of the few jobs where, like, I don't want to work with people. I don't want to work with people that aren't getting better all the time with me. So if I have to, like, especially like I work at one place where there's 7 of us behind the bar, I want to be the weakest link. I want to be the weakest link behind the bar. Like, even though I know I'm not, I want to build that idea that I'm doing everything to make everybody stronger. So if I am the weakest link, then this bar can't go backwards.
No, that's a great point, and I love that. I love that perspective of it.
Honestly,
it's
weird. Like, I tell people, like, if I'm in the weeds, we're all in the weeds.
Right.
Like, because that's like, if I'm the one freaking out, then something's wrong with
because you know
what we're doing.
I don't suck.
Yeah, I'm doing everything to make us
I'm
great.
good at what I do.
I'm gonna do everything to keep us, like, at least above water.
And if you're gonna come into my bar, and you're gonna tell me that I suck at pouring Guinness, or you're gonna tell me first of all, if you're gonna call me boss, like, you could just get out, right?
Hey, chief.
But if you're gonna come and chief, but if you're gonna come, or pal, yes, Dom brings up a good one. Dominic, pal, right? Dominic also hates buddy, which I don't mind. I don't mind buddy. But no, Bud's bad. Yeah. Hey, Bud, what's up? Like, hi, welcome from St. Louis. Like, I'm sorry, but like, there you go.
One of the things I do if somebody calls me, like,
You
somebody's
said
like,
do,
is if somebody calls me, like, I'll say, oh, my name is Vincent. I'm Vincent. Like, if I don't like how you approach me, I'll tell you my name's Vincent.
Oh no. I had one today also, and I've said this before, but I have to, it just needs to be said, where, like, someone walks in and you're like, hey, how are you today? I'm Teddy, welcome. And they're like, Guinness. Your name is Guinness? Like, is that your name?
Like, hey, Guinness, how you doing?
And then all of a sudden they're like, they realize, and they're like, well,
I'd like a Guinness.
I don't know what to say.
Yeah, say I'd like a Guinness. Or may I get a Guinness?
Right.
Like, I don't mind you knowing what you want right away, but
like
you say it like you are trying to get it from me and you don't expect me just to show up for you.
Social skills, people.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, I'm Vincent. Hey. And they should be like, hey, I'm Sarah. Nice to meet you. Can I please have a Guinness?
Yeah.
Like, that's different. But instead it's like, hey, I'm Vincent. I was like, Guinness. I'm like, I'm doing great. Thank you.
Yeah. Or, you know what? Other don't wave at me.
Don't
wave.
No. The snapping. Dominic just brought it up.
People snap at you?
Oh, I've had it St. Patrick's Day where we've had, like, the little, like, bells, and a dude. Oh my God, dude,
bringing a bell.
Oh, he's ringing the bell.
Yeah,
that's like, hey, that's gotta go.
All the extra stuff, like, all that will get you ignored. Like, I think. Oh my God! Can I tell another douchebag story?
Oh yeah.
This is years ago though. This is not of the week. This might be of the lifetime. I used to work at Untitled, and we're getting rocked. Like, we probably have 500-600 people in the place. I'm in the lounge area, and one of my buddies in the service well, and he's just cranking out drinks. He's a fucking beast, cranking out drinks. Boom, 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 boom. Double shaking all this, double straining. This woman wants some champagne, but she's standing in the service well, which is way out of where she should be. Like, all the servers need to get there. And my buddy's like, well, miss, can you just get out of here, move over there, and they'll take care of you.
Right.
So I'm standing right next to him. So I
Boundaries.
come over like, hey, miss. Her husband decides to come over to the service well. There's 15, 16 drinks on the service well.
Yeah.
And he starts pounding on the service well. I want champagne. I want champagne. It took everything in my buddy's life not like to jump over that bar and beat him up, because my buddy's a wrestler. He comes from a family of wrestlers. Like that might be the biggest asshole I've ever dealt with in any bar. What else you got?
Well, first thing I have is like, since we work in the service industry, there are 2 shots that you drink when you live in the service industry.
Okay.
What are they?
It's gonna be either Fernet or Malort.
Thank you. That's it. Tonight
Unless you're a bougie bartender, then it's Fernet and Chartreuse.
Okay. No, tonight we do Fernet.
Fernet
And
about it.
this is for you. Yeah, Fernet about it.
What's your favorite drink to make?
I make a lot of specialty shots here now at O'Callaghan's where like the root beer float, the chocolate covered cherry, they all involve vanilla vodka.
Okay.
And so those are kind of my favorite drinks to make. People think that it's a pain in the ass to make martinis. I love making martinis. I don't care.
Yeah.
You know, I'll do a nice dirty martini because I love a good dirty martini.
Yeah, I got you. Like
right?
martinis aren't that bad. Like,
Right.
what's the worst drink to make for you?
Okay, the worst drink to make for me is a lemon drop martini with a sugar rim glass and you know when they ask you to rim the glass and you're busy as fuck and you're like, really? Do you really need this?
Do you really need more sugar?
Like, yeah. I mean, this comes with a side of insulin. So like, you know, like whatever. But you know, I don't really have a lot of drinks I don't like to make. People think it's a big deal. It's funny, like people walk in like, and you get this on Sundays all the time. I don't mean to be a pain in the ass, but can I get a Bloody Mary? I'm like, no,
Bloody Mary's easy.
I expect you to want a Bloody Mary.
Yeah.
Some hot sauce, some mix, some this and that, you're done. Like, you're good, right? So there's not really a drink I don't like to make. I like to make drinks for people.
I got you. I'd say mojitos.
Yeah.
I hate mojitos. I hate
we
mojitos
don't do them here.
simply for the fact of the matter that once you make one and it's good, everybody else around that person wants that drink.
Well, that's the thing, though, also with Bloody Marys, as you know.
Oh, yeah, but Bloody Marys, I'm not going to make 50 Bloody Marys on a Monday or
You can
Tuesday.
batch that shit, though, so
Yeah.
it's not a big deal.
But the reason I don't like the mojitos is because there's mint everywhere now. There's mint everywhere. There's mint in the sink. There's mint on the floor.
Yeah,
there's
that's
mint in the
why-
ice. There's mint in the shaker. There's mint in the strainer. You can never get rid of the mint. It's like glitter.
Being here at O'Callaghan's, I think we made a decision, like, we're not going to even carry mint because, like, we're not doing mojitos. It's an Irish bar. Like, get a shot and a beer or get, like, a martini, whatever you want. Like, you know that. Or
You like making Tito's and vodkas?
Tito's and vodkas?
Yeah, like
Oh,
I get that
wait.
order a lot, bro.
No, this reminds me.
Can I get a Tito and vodka?
I know.
Say that again.
I've had
a
that.
Tito and vodka. Hey, buddy, say it again. What, you can't fucking hear me? Say it again. A Tito's and... Oh! Why don't you just come up and say, can I get a Becky? I know you want a Tito's and soda.
Yeah.
Say, give me a Becky. Tito's and soda. I used to work at the one of those fun, like, what's the, I forget what the place is, but
He's old.
no, yeah. Anyway, 6 girls are walking up to the bar. I made 6 vodka sodas and just set them right there. Like they're all
Before
standing
they
there,
even showed up?
like they're walking towards the bar. They're all talking to each other, like, "Oh, what are you gonna get? What are you gonna get? What are you gonna get?" The first girl was like,
Tito soda?
Can I get a Tito soda?" And I was like,
There you go.
and all 6 of them look at me like, "How did you know?" Well, first off, I know that since none of y'all knew what to order, the first person to order something was gonna get what, like,
And you're all going to do the same.
and it's gonna be the same.
All the same. God, it's so
It was
true.
gonna be the same thing.
But it's so true.
Like, that's one of my pet peeves about the bar. Like, if you don't know what you're gonna drink, look at the menu.
Right.
Don't come and ask me, like, what do you like to make?
Here's another thing about the menu.
Look at the menu.
About the menus. So it's been QR code for like 4 years,
Mhm.
right? And the people come in and are like, "Oh, I don't do this digital
Stop
bullshit."
playing.
I go, "Bro, I don't know what to tell you. We got like, this is all you got." He's like, "Well, can you pull me your phone?" I'm like, "No."
What city do you live in that doesn't do QR codes now?
And then I'm like, "What do you like? Like, what do you want?" "Well, I like a lager." I'm like, "Done." I'm like, "Dovetail, 5 miles north. Here's their lager. Shut up and drink it. Love you. Take care. Love your show." Like, that's it, right?
I pour people scotch when I try to get them, when I try to get them to the point
That's the best.
where they're like, I was like, what spirit? Well, I don't know. I mean, do you want it like fruit sweet? You want it sugar sweet? I don't know. I'll just give you a scotch.
I had a dude come in the other week, about a month ago, and he was like, "I don't know what to drink, but like, you're from Chicago, so just figure out what I should drink."
Oh, my Lord.
I go, okay.
Oh, cup of
So
Malort.
like, I go, okay. I have a Chicago treasure for you. And
You
he's
should
like,
make Malort put a splash of Coke on it. Tell him it's a Long Island.
oh.
Tell him it's a Goose Island. It's a Goose Island.
No,
That's the
so
only island we got here.
I poured the guy a Malort and just gave him like, this is Chicago. He drank it and he ran to the bathroom.
Yeah, well,
I'm like, well, yeah,
this is Chicago.
yeah, welcome.
Have a clue.
So the guy who trained me my first day here at O'Callahan's, even though I bartended for years and years and years, he did teach me some stuff here. He may seem a bit brash at times, but he's like, but like one of the sweetest people you meet.
Thank you.
Vincent Cluke, you are you're a national treasure.
You know what? I believe that.
Yeah, you really are.
Like, you know what? Here's the thing.
Here we go. Fuck, here we go.
I always tell people, like, they're like, oh, you don't seem happy. It's like, I'm always happy inside. I just don't want people stealing my happiness. That's why I just dish it out when I need to dish it.
And that's why he's so full of shit right now, because he has no idea what he's talking about right now. But Vincent Cluke, come see him here at O'Callahan's and over at everywhere else in Chicago. He's the 13th best bartender in Chicago.
And I probably have the most jobs, though. So
yeah, he's got like 13 jobs, and he's the 13th best bartender, which means like, I don't know where that ranks you, but that's okay.
You know.
Bro, you know I love you.
Thank you very much for having me.
You're a good kid. And you are a kid because you're younger than I am, but whatever.
Oh, thanks for calling me a kid. I feel good now.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you once again for checking out our show, Bar Banter. We are available on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, you name it. But we would love your subscription, and make sure that you pass it around and share it, because we want to keep doing this, and I think we will. And with guests like this, how can you lose? Cheers.
Cheers, brother.
Beer Banter.
Thanks, Dom.
Beer Banter? Bar Banter.
Do you know the show?
I don't know.
It's your first timer?
Yeah, well, it's,
it's my first time, bro. Thank you very much for having me, guys. I do appreciate it. Thank you.